we actually got traction, but just not enough to grow and not enough, it was generating enough revenue not to die. And that's the worst. I feel like it's kind of working. Kind of working sucks.
There is no exact playbook for growth.
People want to keep this secret.
For the most part, companies are successful because they've managed to excel at one or two channels.
I think a lot of times your growth is dictated by the market.
Word of mouth, though important, does not work when you don't have any customers.
I'm Dave. You get ready to scale or die. What's up, Growth Nation? Welcome to Scale or Die, where we uncover proven strategies behind some of the fastest growing startups. In this episode, we've got special guest Sujan Patel, and we've got a lot to talk about. Sujan's one of the growth experts behind the scenes of startups like Zoho, TurboTax, Mint, and LinkedIn. He's also the owner of 3 fast-growing SaaS products, including Mailshake, Pick, and Norbert. And when he's not obsessing over marketing, he's jumping out of airplanes, racing cars, and trying to avoid breaking his 18th bone. Sujan, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. Actually, 18th bone has been broken,
What?
Unfortunately.
You hadn't updated it when I saw that.
Yeah, it's the lamest one possible. I broke my pinky toe.
Really?
It's like, that doesn't count.
So I was creeping on your Instagram here, and I found this picture of you racing motorcycles. And when you said you race motorcycles, I thought, okay, he's got a Harley Davidson. He kind of putts around town, looking cool. You're like an actual motorcycle racer. But tell us, like, what is this like? You know, what is your motorcycle career? I mean, what do you do there?
Yeah, so I don't actually race professionally or amateur. I'm not racing other people. I'm doing more just lap times. Still lots of people on the track just like this. There's still people cutting you off, and just it feels like you're racing even though you're not winning anything.
Yeah.
It's scary. I think part of the reason I like it is because it's scary and it's fun, and it's probably the most, I would say. I was at Circuit of Americas this weekend, and I was like, this is the most the physical version of entrepreneurship as you can define. There's kind of a path. You can take many routes because the track is really wide, and so you can go different lanes, and you can still make it through the same way. Some exit faster than other paths, and you can still fall, but sometimes you can get back up. So I don't know. I feel like it's the most physical way of saying entrepreneurship. That's kind of why I like it, because you're kind of in there and you have to get better, and you don't know anything, but no one knows anything, and then you ride it, you get some experience, and you get some ROI out of it, meaning you get more thrill, and so it's a lot of fun.
That's cool, man. Well, I'm super impressed. I'll have to go out there with you sometime and check it out.
Definitely.
Cool. Let's dive in and talk about scaling up, talk about SaaS growth. So you've been doing this about 14, 15 years now?
Yeah, I think 14 years. I started kind of counting.
And I was going to ask you, what trends are you seeing in growth right now that maybe weren't happening 5 or 10 years ago?
Yeah, so I think one is saturation and competition. I would put those kind of in the same bucket. It's harder than ever to kind of build a business. It's easier than ever to build a business, so it's harder than ever to stand out. And so I think a lot of folks focus on marketing, and there's a lot of companies doing it well. Or doing it poorly but still getting decent results. So I think the issue or the thing I see is just a lot of competition and figuring out how to stand out. Another thing I see is what's old is new again. And I feel like I've been long enough where I've seen 2 or 3 cycles of this happen, where things were really hot. I remember when I first got into the industry, 2002, podcasts were just starting to be on fire. And then they completely died. And then they came back sometime during the iPhone, late iPhone, when the iPhone launched, maybe 2010 or something like that, when they had podcast apps. But essentially, now there's podcast advertising, and that's a really awesome channel because you can get the equivalent of radio ads, but for way cheaper and the same or more controllable ROI. So if you look at companies like Bluehost or FreshBooks, Grasshopper, they're all targeting SMBs. But they're doing it using podcast ads.
So that channel started to actually develop.
Yeah, I don't know how far it'll go.
Predictable.
I don't know how far it'll go, but it's controllable. I can buy remnant billboards for pennies on the dollar, right? I actually have 2 billboards right now in Iowa, I think. I don't know where, really. They're just the cheapest ones I could find. Because they just wanted it, and it just says we're hiring engineers. Mailshake.
Amazing.
And so it's just our website. And
how much does it cost?
That one cost me about $150 for that one billboard.
Per month?
per month, yeah.
Okay.
And we have a 3-month contract.
Amazing.
And I just did it just to screw
I
around.
just want to have a billboard.
Yeah, I just wanted to have it. I mean, now I just want to figure take a picture of the billboard. I just don't know where it's at.
Yeah,
I know
you
the
gotta go
zip code
take a
in the
trip
city. I just don't know where the heck that place is. So, so stuff like that is coming about. The other thing is building a brand, whether it's a company brand like Proof or it's a personal brand or a community. Those are things that can help you stand out. Like Mailshake, we have 64 known competitors. Like known being I've actually seen them, scoped them out or whatever. Probably a lot more I don't know about. And we all kind of do the same thing. I mean, some of us better than others, and some of us have more bells and whistles. We can do a lot more, a lot less. Buggy, not buggy, whatever. But there's 64 solutions to a problem. If you're a consumer, which one do you choose and why? Usually start with like what comes to mind or what you see out there, right? So yes, good marketing, but like let's say everyone's doing good marketing, and then it's really about like, well, which one do you think does the best job?
Yep.
And I think that's where brand comes into play. I think that's where UX is really, really important, and then also this small thing of giving a crap. And I think it's combined with customer support and customer success. And we actually, at Mailshake and Ramp Ventures, which is kind of the parent company of all these SaaS companies I'm in, we have success into rolling into the marketing department.
All right, Sujan, now we've got a recurring segment of the show called Which Test Won. It's a game show in the interview where you get to make some money for charity. Does that sound good?
Sounds awesome.
All right, so how it works is you are going to be able to make $20. I'm going to show you 3 different marketing experiments. For each one that you guess the correct variation, you're going to make $20. And the third one is going to be double or nothing. And if you win, it's going to go to charity. The charity that you picked today was called Tree Folks. Which, tell us about Tree Folks. Why'd you pick that?
Yeah, I just chose it as a local charity in Austin. They plant trees. More trees, more oxygen. Yeah, can't go wrong with more oxygen.
Everybody
right?
loves trees.
Everybody needs oxygen.
Everybody needs oxygen.
There you
Everybody
go.
loves trees. Very cool. All right. Well, you ready? You feeling confident?
Let's do it. I'm nervous, but I'm ready.
All right. Well, these are hand-selected by me, and I think you're going to like them. So, which test won? So for the first one here, we've got basically a welcome tour in an app versus an app without a welcome tour. And so our goal here was we were trying to increase launched campaigns. People sign up for Proof. They go into our app. And on the left-hand side, we've just got a checklist. They kind of go down and they get to see, kind of what to do next. On the right-hand side, we used a software called App Queues to go in, and it kind of walks them through click by click how to set up a campaign. Which one do you think increased the number of launched campaigns, the number of people that launched a campaign when they signed up?
I would say the welcome tour.
Okay, and why do you say that?
I think it's just more helpful. I mean, onboarding is a really critical part of activation and just actually customers using the software successfully. I think sometimes it requires slowing someone down and showing them exactly what to do, maybe a little bit of hand-holding. So that's kind of why I think the welcome tour probably won.
All right, and the answer is the welcome tour.
Sweet.
Actually, so we launched this campaign for ourselves, and 77% more campaigns were launched within 24 hours of starting Proof, which is pretty significant for us. And it's funny, I'm kind of the person that exits out of those things when I go in. I want to figure it out myself, but I'm also like an early adopter, and I like that kind of thing. I like figuring products out.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
I think for us, we had to remember that we weren't the ones using our product. There's a lot of not early adopters, people that want help going through a product.
Yeah.
And it was big. So
it's awesome.
$20
Sweet.
for Tree Folks. All right, the next one of which test won. So here it's basically on our homepage. We were trying to increase our new trial conversion rate and sign up rate. And so on the left, we have no exit intent pop-up. On the right, we added an exit intent pop-up where we offered 30 days for free if they just entered their little email, and it just was kind of hitting people as they were leaving the page. Which one do you think increased our new trial conversion rate?
I would say the exit intent pop-up.
Okay, and why do you say that?
It's just another touch point.
All right, let's see what the answer is here. The answer is actually the no exit intent pop-up. And so adding the pop-up, this is kind of an example where something outside of our scope happened. So actually it decreased new trials by 37%. And what we found was when we added the pop-up, it increased page load time from 4 seconds to 10 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Which is not good. And
Not
that
good,
wasn't
yeah.
something that we had expected. It wasn't something we were testing for. It was kind of this extra variation of the test that we weren't planning on. And because the page is loading so much slower, nobody could sign up. People were leaving early and all of that. So this isn't really a test per se about whether or not exit intents are good, but it was interesting, part of an experiment, realizing that, hey, you've got to watch like the load time for us.
Oh, absolutely. I had something similar happen when we added a few like monitoring tools. I think it was like Hotjar and a couple other tools to see the user videos. It's like conversions went down, and we were trying to figure it out for like 2 weeks, and it was like, what's happening?
I know. Okay, in this one, we are testing the same thing, how to increase new trial conversion rate. And so this is Groove. On the left-hand side, we've got the headline SaaS and e-commerce customer support. Now, what they wanted to do was test that headline and figure out how to beat that to get more people to sign up. And so on the right-hand side, they asked their customers, hey, how do you describe our product? We think it's SaaS and e-commerce customer support, but they asked their customers, and the customers said, this is everything that you need to deliver awesome personal support to every customer. And so they used their customer language to create the headline instead of what they thought it was. So they ran these two tests against each other. Which test won?
I would say landing page number 2. Most of the time, you can't go wrong repeating what the customer says and as a way to describe yourself.
Kind of a copywriting hack.
Yeah, it's simple. Let the customers do all the writing for you.
All right, well, let's see which one won. Okay, actually landing page number 2 had 87% more signups by using the real customer's verbiage to describe their business.
Absolutely. It's a little bit of cheat because I've done this test so many times for my companies and clients. And so I've never had landing page 1 work better than
you try to create it versus asking your customers, hey, how do you describe the product?
I always kind of paraphrase or revise, and I can spice up what they say, but they're usually always winning when it's their words.
Totally. Very cool. All right, another $20 for Tree folks.
Sweet.
All right, Sujan, you've got $40. We're going into the final, the money round, the double or nothing. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So which test won? Our goal here was to decrease cost per acquisition. And so these are our 2 Facebook ads that we were running to our homepage to get people to sign up for proof. On the left-hand side, we've got kind of a standard, well-written. We spent over $400,000 on paid advertising, and this landing page template got our average conversion rate to 82%. Kind of a nice call to action, nice description of what we offer, and then we're trying to get them to click here. Ad number 2, we thought, well, what if we try to call people out a little bit more, be a little more specific to them to get them to click a little bit more? So we put at the beginning, for all of our ads in Canada, we started off by saying, marketers in Canada are converting ad clicks at an average of 82%. So we just kind of we tried to add a little bit more personalization into the ad to see if people click on that more and sign up for proof more often. Which one of these do you think won?
Man, this is a tough one. I personally like ad number 1. I think because you have the dollar amount and like it shows that you guys have done a lot more effort. It just feels like you spent $400,000, a big number. But I have a gut feeling the Canada one actually won.
Why so? Just
because you're targeting people specifically to, maybe marketers in Canada think differently, think of themselves as different than, we're marketers in Canada. It doesn't work in Canada, or it works here, So I've seen that kind of reaction from folks. So I'm going to go with 2 for my gut, but I like number 1 better.
How many trees can you plant with $80, do you think?
I can plant a whole lot. Well, I think trees are expensive. Palm tree costs like $30,000.
I didn't know.
Anyway, so
I didn't know
I'm working my way up to a palm
so we're
tree.
going to have to play a lot of which test won.
There you go.
All right, so ad number 2 he's going for, and the answer is ad number 2.
Oh, sweet.
Which is sweet. So yes, we actually saw a 166% decrease in cost per lead. Originally, we were getting $4 on ad number 1 cost per lead, and that went down to $1.50 on ad number 2. Do you guys do any sort of kind of personalization, trying to call people out like that?
Absolutely. I think this is a great example of just how you should be running advertising. Personalization and really tight segmenting.
Yep.
If you're targeting maybe digital marketers versus marketing managers, they may think of themselves differently. So I think it's really getting the minds of the customers really awesome.
Yeah, it's difficult to do.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time to
lot more
segment,
work.
put people in buckets, but the results are generally there.
Generally, when you put more work and more granularity into ad campaigns, they work better.
Yeah.
Right? It's very rare that it's just launch a broad, target all marketers in North America. It'll work.
Yep. Yeah, no, totally. All right, man. Well, I'm going to give you another $20 there. That is going to go to Tree folks, which is going to be exciting. We can actually donate that. Shut the camera there.
That's right.
That is it.
80 buckaroos.
Yeah. That's going to plant maybe not a lot of trees. Maybe
it'll plant a couple dozen trees, but not a palm tree. You got to work towards that. You got to invite me back.
Very cool, man. All right, well, let's dive back into marketing, growth, and scaling up. So let's talk about Mailshake. I'd just love to hear kind of the story from you. What does the growth of Mailshake look like? What's been the ups? What's been the downs? What's worked for you over at Mailshake?
So we've been around since 2015, and a lot of stuff has not worked for us, and it was really upfront.
That's always the case.
Yeah, it was a lot of it didn't work up front, and then we figured something out, and then we rebranded, and it started growing from there. Because a lot of our growth is from word of mouth, all of this stuff happened because we were just trying to make something work. I think I put in like 150 grand of my own money. So we're bootstrapped, but 150 grand of my own money. Of that money, some of it's like revenue that we generated at Mailshake. We were selling a content marketing course. So we started as Content Marketer IO, failed to hit product market fit. The thing is, we actually got traction, but just not enough to grow and not enough, it was generating enough revenue not to die. And that's the worst. I feel like it's kind of working.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of working sucks.
Oh, I know.
So we took us 2 years pretty much, rebranded, we pivoted over. Anyways, long story short, we rebranded. We found out that one part of our tool, the email part, really people loved. And so we just rebranded everything to that.
And
killed
that's
everything.
Mailshake? You
And
kind of
that's
ripped that
Mailshake.
out of there?
Yeah, pretty much. We were this content marketing tool that did all this outbound to find emails and find social media information. Funny enough, we pretty much did what Walla Norbert, one of my companies, and Mailshake do independently. But when you put them together, they don't work. I don't know why. But when you put them apart, they work really well. And when you integrate them together, they work well. But they can't be one product, at least from my testing. But anyways, what worked really, really well was focusing on that customer, focusing on a competitor's weaknesses. So my co-founder and I, he's the dev, I'm the marketing guy, or kind of the business guy, really. He went to go build it, and he's like, it's gonna take me 6 months. I'm like, that's a long time. I was just working a full-time job during that time, so I was like, what do I do? All I did was review our competitors' reviews and talk to customers of theirs, because we had like 5 at the time, or 10, something like that, of that product that we were gonna pivot over. And we just focused on building a product that was the exact opposite of what people were complaining about. And what that resulted in is easy to use and low cost. So we started off.
So when you read the reviews, you saw they were saying, this is too complex, too difficult. I don't want to pay the price. It's overpriced. And you kind of said, great. There's our entry point.
Well, I talked to customers. I talked to people, and I was like, hey, how do you do outbound sales, or how do you do emails? What's your process? And I was like, what are you using? Whatever tool they were using. They walked me through it. And when they were walking me through it, I saw them hesitating. And I'm like, you use this tool and you're still having a tough time describing it to me. And it wasn't like I was putting them on the spot or anything. It was just casually asking, and they knew they just took a while to go to where they needed to go. And so I was like, oh wow, there's actually a problem here. If the guy who's using the tool can't explain it well, and they were using these tools for a while. I won't mention the names of the competitors, but ultimately, we just built exactly the opposite of that. I was like, why don't we just keep it simple? And when we did our kind of beta testing, we did it live, and then we kind of try to go fast, but we launched and we just put it up there. And during that time, what really worked for us is building out marketing. So we marketed a landing page. We marketed before we had a product. And so we were able to build up a big audience, big relative to how many customers we had. We were able to build up 4,000 or 5,000 email subscribers and maybe 3,000 or 4,000 visitors a month to the site before we had a product, because I was just doing marketing on something that people couldn't sign up for. And that was a really big thing, because as soon as we launched a sign-up form and allowed people to get in, a dozen or so people did in the first week. And those dozen people, I got on the phone with them, and I found out what they loved, what they didn't, whatnot. And so we just stuck with that. So I would say build pre-launch marketing, really, really important. Looking at competitors and figuring out how you can carve out something of your own. And then lastly is talking to customers and actually getting their feedback.
Very cool. And one thing I wanted to ask you, it seems like a lot of your growth strategy has been around either building other tools or buying and acquiring other tools that kind of complement your current, through your initial tool. Tell us, what's that been like? How has that helped growth?
Yeah, so in terms of helping growth, it's been a good way to keep customers around longer. It's increased LTV, increased retention a bit, or quite a bit actually. So it wasn't more of a marketing initiative. It was more of like, how can us as a company, so we're in the sales tech space, how can we own more of the flow? So what do people do before Mailshake? What do people do after it? Like, what's the whole cycle like? So, if we send emails, we're sending emails to sales prospects or whatever, how are they finding these folks? How are they prospecting? And then what are they doing afterwards? So afterwards would be a CRM. Beforehand would be like more list building and prospecting. And so we just thought about like, what can we create? And then, with like a company like Pick, very strategic in the sense that like Pick is a calendar scheduling tool. We know that if you include a calendar link and you make it more convenient for somebody to book a meeting with you, it just reduces friction, therefore increases conversion. And so it's like, why not offer that as well? And so we just kind of offer that as a kind of add-on or whatnot. Now, these are all different brands. I would say we're really early stage of like, I don't even know if we'll ever combine them, but I can tell you that by just adding valuable tools for our customers and either giving it a discount or for free or just by mentioning it, it has helped the stickiness of our core product.
That's awesome. All right, Sujan. Well, we're rounding third. We're headed home. This has been awesome. And we've got the final segment, which is what we call the Salty Six.
All right, let's do it.
6 rapid-fire questions for us to get to know you better and hear what you're all about. Some business, some personal. Mostly they're just meant to have some fun and get to know you. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Salty Six, question number 1. What do you do for fun?
I ride motorcycles and skydive and just kind of hang out. Yeah.
What motorcycle do you have?
I have a Aprilia RSV4, and I have a couple bikes, and a KTM RC390.
All right.
One's really powerful, one has no power, so I'm faster on the lower power ones.
All right. Yeah, very cool. All right, question number 2. What's the best business conference that you've gone to?
Personally, Conversion XL, the one here in Austin, Conversion XL Live, actually it's called, Pep Laja's conference. Really good group of growth people. Conversion, I like the fact that he puts a conference out in the middle of nowhere at some resort, and so you can't go anywhere but that resort. And so the fact that I'm just stuck with a bunch of people, because if it was me, I would be like, I'd just hang out and then just kind of go away for a bit and kind of come back, or get my little clicks with people. I love the fact. I met my business partner there 2 years ago, so best like $1,500 I spent.
All right, very cool. What podcast do you listen to?
Reid Hoffman's, really high level, Scale.
Masters of Scale.
Masters of Scale. I should know it. Really helpful, but I get all these nuggets from like uber successful people. And all in life I'm looking for is like little nuggets that change my perspective or worldview.
Yeah, Masters of Scale, they're kind of a competitor to Scale or Die.
Oh.
Two heavyweight podcasts punching it out.
Yeah.
Cool. What book are you reading right now? What's on your nightstand?
So I have a kid on the way, so I'm reading a book called 12 Weeks, like Sleep 12 Hours in 12 Weeks. So
love it.
The more sleep means I can work harder.
That's on your mind. I love it. Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Michael Jordan.
Why?
I don't know. He just, his tongue out, old school. I don't know.
Didn't lift,
LeBron's probably a better human being, it looks like it's coming to be, but and I'm from LA, so you'd think I love the fact that LeBron's going to LA, but Michael Jordan all the way.
Love it. All right, and then what one person would you invite to a dinner party, dead or alive? You can bring somebody
dead or
in.
alive? That'd be a weird dinner party with dead people.
Oh, no, they'd be alive at the, they come back.
Oh, but they could be dead. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Not a dead person. Okay.
They wouldn't be dead at the
Do you
party.
see how I think, though? It's just, anyways. I would probably bring Trump.
Okay.
I just would like to just get inside his brain and like, whether you like him or hate him or love him, like his decisions are rash. His decisions are, pretty out there. Sometimes I just want to understand like what he's thinking through. Maybe get some perspective. Not that I agree or disagree with anything.
Yep.
It's just like, that's an interesting one because he clearly has a different take on life and a really unique way of looking at things. Again, good or bad.
Yep.
I just want to know what the heck on why, because that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Could change my perspective.
The guy is clearly a wild man. I've had a couple friends who have, gotten time with him or been at the White House or whatever. And a couple people, all the stories I've heard back have said one-on-one, he's actually like a pretty like nice, normal guy.
Yeah.
Which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, that'd be an interesting dinner party.
Absolutely. And I would say he's one of the better marketers in the world right now. Like
That's true.
that guy crushed it on social, right? And he found that channel that won presidency.
That's true.
And he knows how to rile people up, which is exactly what he did.
All right. Well, there we have it, folks. Sujan, thanks so much for being on Scale or Die. If people want to find out more about what you're working on, your companies, where can they look you up?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun. You can probably best place to reach me would be my personal website, sujanpatel.com, or Twitter. I'm always ranting, raving about tools I'm trying out or new productivity tips.
Love it, man. I think I looked on your Twitter the other day and you had like 28,000 tweets or something.
I talk a lot.
That's a lot. Love that, man. Thanks so much for being on.
Yeah,
This
thank
has been
you.
great.